Hello, I'm Heather, and Cardyn is our co-host, and she's going to wave to you because her sound's not working great. And welcome to the Bitchy Quill, a podcast where we talk about publishing from a feminist perspective. We also do guest mini interviews, and today we have um, author, publisher, speaker, Claire Jones of Clairjoyance. And welcome. We are so happy to have you on here today. And I'm going to refer to my notes from time to time. So just that's why I'll be turning my head a little bit. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully. I'm so glad we're getting close to Q4.
Oh. One our first question that we have been asking people is, how did we meet you?
Well, I think it was actually Donna Knutson who originally introduced me and you, and then you thoroughly convinced me to attend the Right Women Book Fest back in July.
I,
So,
oh, I'm so glad I got to see you in person. We are always a little sad about the book festival and that we don't get to go around and say something to everybody because we're so busy doing the thing that
sure.
day. We're doing the thing, and so we want to say hi to everybody, but we can't. So I did get to see you for a couple of minutes.
Yes, we did
So
hug. So that was like the
there,
one
yeah,
check on my
we
list.
we actually, human contact. There was human
Yes,
contact. And
very
you're,
important.
you're across the country from me, right?
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle. How's the weather in Seattle today?
It is a gorgeous sunny 65. It is
Oh,
like pure fall weather.
it's lovely here too. We're having pretty much the same weather as you are. Um, so I At first, when I met you, I thought you only did publishing. I didn't realize that you wrote as well. So I was really happy and excited to see that you are also an author. And I do see a lot of your sort of what do you want to call them? Inspirational author videos.
Ah,
Is that a fair thing to call them? An inspirational sort of coaching, um, aspirational, inspirational, like cheerleading sort of Instagram posts mostly is what I see coming from you. That's what the feed puts in my Instagram feed of yours. So that's
yeah.
mostly what I see. Do you post other kinds of things on there?
Yeah, I do a lot of different types of content. Honestly, content has been my main focus this year. And so I've been kind of pitching all kinds of things into the ether to see what sticks. But the things that do stick is the more advice-based, support-based, self-publishing support for other writers. Because I'm a systems and strategies thinker, so I might as well share my brain with other people out there.
Right. It's important because when you start out, you don't know what the heck you're doing. And honestly, even if you're going in a new direction or a different direction, you're always learning. So whenever you have wisdom to share, I think that's amazing that people take time to do that. But so the question I'm about to ask you is a question we ask our writers, because as a writer myself, and as a reader, this is what I always want to know, which is what made you want to become a writer?
I mean, I've been writing in some shape or form literally since I was 7 years old. And I never really thought, like, I want to be a writer. That was never like the goal. But it just was the underlying foundation and the thorough thread of everything that I did throughout the course of my entire life. Like, my writing skills supported my education, obviously. And then when I went to college, I had a professor who encouraged me to begin submitting my writers to peer-reviewed my papers to peer-reviewed journals and starting my public speaking career as well in the field of art history. But I didn't start writing novels specifically until about 3 years ago when I was thinking about starting this publishing business. And
Oh,
so, what inspired me to start writing fiction was actually A, how many inspiring readers and writers I found in the world of book talk, and then B, also how many bad books I've written over the year. I've read over the years. I was like, I bet I can do better than some of the books I've read in the past.
whatever motivates you. And how do you feel about how things have turned out?
I love it. I mean, the publishing business model is the best business model that I found for myself so far because I don't have to rebrand each time I publish a new product, publish a new service, so on and so forth. And so the author brand, having a cohesive brand under my multifaceted interests and passions is the best business model for me. And my writing has resonated with people literally all over the world. And so that is very encouraging and validating and heartwarming as well.
Oh, so what would you call your genre?
I write queer fantasy romance when it comes to fiction. When it comes to nonfiction, it's those writer support guides, like you mentioned.
Okay, and these can be found on your link tree.
Yes.
Okay. And I will, of course, put any way to contact you or your information down in the description of the video. Um, w- I do want to ask you also, who or what do you feel are your biggest writing influences? And you could be from when you were young or from now, or maybe it's changed over the years.
Wow. Okay. Well, when it comes to world building specifically, like in the fantasy genre, I look a lot to an author named Danielle L. Jensen. She is actually an agent and an author, and she has the best ability that I've seen out there to weave world building elements into her stories where it's not like world building lore dumps. You often get that in the
Okay.
world of fantasy where it's like 5 pages devoted to just describing the setting of what's going on.
Right.
And she's who I found that weaves it seamlessly into the action and the dialogue and the experiences of the characters more so than being like, here's the world, here is the characters. It's
Okay.
all interwoven a beautiful way.
Okay. Yeah, that's really hard to do. I feel like the exposition and the world building stuff to just like you're dropping people in. And I think the impulse to explain the whole world to them right away is really strong, and
Yeah.
especially in probably in a newer author. I know it was for me when I wrote my first book. And I think that that is a real gift to be able to just drop people into the world and show them the world rather than try to explain it all.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I'll have to check that author out. Um, and what is your current project that you're working on right now?
It's an interesting question because I release a book a year. And so book 4 in my 8 book series is releasing as scheduled on Halloween. And so I'm not actively working on any like writing at the moment. I'm working on launch activities at the moment. So I will get back to writing book 5 here in probably about a month.
Okay. And I noticed that you have a 52-week planner for authors. Is that something that is meant to help people? I assumed at 52 weeks that it meant that would help you launch a book within a year.
Yes, it's writing, publishing, and starting to sell the book within a year.
Oh, wow, that's really good. It takes me two. So
Yeah,
I
I
maybe I ought
mean,
to pick that up and see if I can't get cut that in half.
I specifically made the planner undated so that you never feel like you are behind because I run into a lot of nonfiction business writers too who want that whole thing into 1 month instead of 1 year too.
Okay.
And so it's meant to expand or contract based on what your personal flow looks like. It's more set up as like a week by week schedule of what steps to do in what order.
Wow. And that's very helpful, especially to the indie crowd who may, I mean, I guess you could use it even if you're going to try to do a traditional
Yeah.
publishing in the sense that you could get all of the stuff done.
Yeah.
This is what you should be doing. But yeah, it's you almost can't have enough information when it comes to indie publishing. Although
Yeah.
I do feel like people can get information overwhelmed and then not finish their writing project.
Absolutely. And so I've been called a lot the bullshit filter in my circles of being like, all right, so there is a lot of noise out there in the marketplace telling you all the things you should do, but these are the things that actually matter and these are the things that you don't really need to worry about.
Yeah, because if you don't get the book written, you're not doing any of the rest of it.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
to get it written in order to get any of the rest of it done.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the series that you're writing, right? And Candid Cardyn. Cardyn, if you have any questions you want me to ask in the chat, I mean, you don't have to, but I know you can't talk because but it feels so weird not to have you asking any questions. If you have a question, drop it in the chat and I'll read it out loud. But so tell me a little bit about, because we still have a little time. I want to hear a little bit more about this book series that you're wrapping. You're launching October next month for this most recent one.
Yeah, I do a release every Halloween.
Is that because it's got Halloweeny stuff in
Actually, no, it was an arbitrary date. So
it?
it's just chosen the first book. I was like, October, it was like going to land somewhere in October was the release based on my
Well, what a cool date
schedule.
to party and
And so
celebrate.
I just chose Halloween because it was easily memorable. It was-
So what, tell us a little bit about this you got Cardyn laughing. Oh, wait, oh, this is the date it's gonna be, and then now that's what it's gonna be forever
yeah,
and ever.
yeah, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about this series, and then so it'll be available come October 31st for
Yeah,
people to
books
buy.
1 through 3 are already available. Those have been published for a while, and I actually did a second edition of book one, which is releasing tomorrow, actually.
Okay.
And so you
And
can.
what's it called?
The series is called Threads of Destiny. Book one is called Love in the Face of Death. Book two is The Echo of Stars and Water. Three is Engraved on a Heart of Flame. And four is To Reap What Is Sown. And so each book follows one of these magic wielders in this world who, because there are 8 classes of magic, and so each of these books follows one of these people that wields one of those classes of magic. And it is adventure and action forward. It's very much influenced by my experiences with D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. And so it is very like high stakes, and people have been comparing it to Pirates of the Caribbean, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Indiana Jones. But there
Okay.
is romance along the way. I would say the spice factor is about 3 out of 5. And so the main plot is like them trying to save the world against a great evil. And then each book dives really into their personal character journeys as they, as a group, try to do this thing that they're trying to do.
Okay. Wow, that sounds fascinating. I love fantasy, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so what is the best way that readers can support you? As in, like, we know that buying your book obviously is number one, and reviewing your book. Those just readers, those are so important, those two things. But is there another way that you feel like is it best for people to follow you? Would you love them to follow you on Instagram? Would you like them to ask for your book at the library or try to get it at their local indie store, at their local bar? Like what is your wish to send out to readers?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's those last two. I have been successful in getting into a few bookstores across the US, but that's one of my big pushes that I'm going to do at the end of this year is trying to get into a lot more bookstores across the US. And I haven't yet broken the library seal. So if I can have help getting into a library, that would be amazing. And
Well,
so
we cert
my
cert
newsletter is
did
also.
you participate with the Right Women Book Fest library? Because we had a portion where you could submit your book, one of your books, so it would have been your first book, obviously, to the library here.
Yeah, at the time I didn't have my first book available because
Oh,
of
okay.
the edition re-release.
Okay. Well, we'd be happy to send you the link of where, because you can submit to have your book in the Prince George's County Library System actually fairly easily. It's not that hard.
That would be
We
awesome.
when we first started doing the book fest, I don't recall them having that capability, but since we've been doing the book fest, they have a section now on their website where you can submit to have your book accepted. And
Mhm.
I think it just has to meet a certain few criteria, but I'm sure that your books will qualify. So I'll send you that info so that you can have that done. And uh, uh, Cardyn is asking, do you have a newsletter people can sign up for?
I do. Yes, it's monthly, and I honestly don't have a sign up available anywhere at the moment because I recently switched newsletter platforms. But if you find me, online somewhere, I can definitely add.
Okay. All right. So, but it'll be up on your LinkedIn in the not too distant future
Yes.
as well, because I do love a newsletter. It's less distracting. I'm trying to reel it back in a little bit with the social media and get more back into blogs and newsletters because I'm a little less distracted. I can focus a little better. So
My
um,
Substack is a lot more easily accessible these days.
that's true. Substack's very accessible too. So, well, thank you so much. We're so glad to hear from you today, and thank you for coming out and being part of the Right Women Book Festival. Our last year was our best year,
Yeah.
and we're glad we were able to go out on a happy note and to meet people. And even though it's these trying times, I'll call it these trying times, it has been really hard to for a lot of people to put on a successful event. It's been very difficult. And there was just so much. The word that keeps coming up that from that day is joy. There was so much
Mhm.
joy and a sense of community that we had that day. And Cardyn and I could not be happier with how it came out. We were a little choked up too. And Golden Angel gave a lovely speech, and it was all very nice. So thank you so much for putting your energy into our event and weaving that into our event. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us on the Bitchy Quill. Please look for more episodes where we discuss publishing from a feminist perspective and our guest mini-sodes here on YouTube. If you'd like to be a guest on the Bitchy Quill, please email us at the Right Women Book Fest. That's WRITE Women Book Fest at gmail.com. And info will be below in the episode description. And sorry, Cardyn couldn't talk to us too. We're doing our best. We're can-do people. We roll with it. Whatever it is, we just roll with it. So thank you so much, Claire, for being here with us today. And you have a good what is it? Monday. You have a good week. My
Thank
days are all
you.
messed up. My husband's weekend's the middle of the week, so sometimes I'm like, what day is it? So
I just do whatever my Google Calendar tells me to do.
there you go. I think thank goodness we have it because we really need it. So thank you. Bye bye.